All right, conduction and convection. Conduction simply means heating by touching. So you have to be touching for it to heat. You have to be touching for electricity to pass through. This is like a stove. Like a stove top. Okay? For cooking. Whenever you put a pan on top of the stove, you have to be touching it. Does holding it on top of the stove without touching it get it hot? No, it has to be sitting on top of the stove. It has to be touching. So conduction has to be touching. So what do you think convection is then? Okay, good. It's heating by heating the surroundings. So it's not necessarily touching the actual heat source. Heating by heating surroundings. It's heating by heating the surroundings. So in convection or conduction, it has to be touching. Does it have to be touching the heat source in convection? No. No. If you've ever heard of a convection oven, okay, a lot of the newer ovens are called convection ovens. So an example is a convection oven. Okay? When you put a turkey in the oven for Thanksgiving, does the turkey cook from the bottom up?
From the sides.
Good. From the sides, the bottom, the top, everywhere, right? Okay? But when you put macaroni on the stove, it cooks from the bottom up, right? It heats the bottom of the water and then it starts boiling to the top, right? Just like it does, right? Because at first, if you touch the sides of a pan on the stove, they're not hot because it starts from the bottom. So sometimes when you cook on a stove, you what? You burn the bottom, right? Okay? It's harder to burn just the bottom in a convection oven because it heats all around. Okay, so you'll see the difference between conduction and convection. What's conduction?
It heats by touching.
Heats by touching. What's convection? Okay, this is the part you need to do if you want to pass the test. You need to repeat it. Convection is what?
Heating by heating surroundings.
What's conduction?
Heating by touching.
Heating by touching. Good. All right. Next words. When we name an organism, so for scientific naming, scientific naming, okay, first you need to know how to divide organisms into groups. What was our biggest group that we divide organisms into? It's called what? The prokaryotes and eukaryotes are the two what? Domains. So that was our prokaryote and eukaryote. And then we put them into kingdoms, right? Okay? And then there's a whole lot of groups. It goes domain, kingdom, phylum, class, kingdom, phylum, class, order, family, genus, and species. Okay? And as you go down, you get more specific. So as you go down from domain to species, you get more specific. So what's the most specific group? Species. What's the biggest groups?
Domain.
Domains. Okay? The other thing you need to know that is if you're in the same family, are you in the same order? Yes. If you're in the same family, you're the same all the way up. If I'm in the same family as you, I'm in the same order, class, phylum, kingdom, and domain. Okay? If I'm in the same family, do I have to be in the same genus and species?
No.
No. I don't have to be in the same genus and species. You're in the same thing as anything above it. So if you're in the same species, everything's the same. If you're in the same genus, everything above genus is the same for you. Does that make sense? Yes, no?
What'd you say?
Okay? If you're in the same group, in the same genus, you're in the same groups everywhere up. So you're in the same domain, kingdom, phylum, class, order, family, genus. Do you necessarily have to be in the same species?
No.
No, you can be in different species, and I'll show you that in just a second. So, when you name an organism, you always write the genus and then the species. So genus is the first word in the name, and species is the second word. Okay? So genus is the first word in the name, species is the second word in the name. Okay? Genus and then species. So if I gave you an example of a scientific organism, okay, so I'm going to give you an organism, I'm going to give you its scientific name. Okay, Homo sapien. What genus is it? What's its genus? Homo. What's its species? Sapien. Okay? Because the first word is homo, the second word is sapien. This is us. This is humans. We are Homo sapiens. Okay? That's our scientific name. They also have humans from a long time ago they called Homo erectus. Okay? So are we in the same genus as Homo erectus?
Yeah.
Yes, we're in both Homo. Are we in the same species as Homo erectus?
No.
No, because we're sapien, they are erectus. Okay? You can look at Panthera, Leo, and Panthera tigris. Okay? So Panthera Leo is a lion. Panthera tigris is a tiger, right? And we know that they're related because we know that they're both really big cats, right? So it makes sense that they'd be in the same genus. But they're in different species because are they the same type of cat?
No.
No, they're both cats, but they're not the same type of cat. Okay? So what's the first word?
What genus?
Genus. The second word is the species. So when you write it, your first word is your
Genus.
second word is your species. Okay? If you're in the same species, are you in the same genus?
Yeah.
Yes. And then you're in the same family, the same order, class, phylum, all the way up to domain. Okay? But just because you're in the same family, does that mean you're in the same genus and species?
No.
Not necessarily. It could be, but it's not necessarily. Okay? You'd have to look at the name. Okay? But if you know you're in the same genus, you know you're the same all the way up. Okay? And don't forget, domain is the big groups, and then it gets more specific until you get down to the species. Right? Any questions on that? No. Okay. Now, 3 terms to do with light. Okay. We've got reflection, refraction, polarized. Okay? We've got reflection, refraction, and polarized. What is a reflection? It's a mirror image. Good. It's a mirror image. When you look in a mirror, you see your reflection. You see yourself. So a reflection is a mirror image. It's a mirror image. Okay? A refraction is the bending of light. Okay? So imagine that we have sun coming down, and the best example is if it hits water. If sun hits water, does it go in at the same angle that it hit the water? No, what happens? It gets refracted, so it gets bent. Okay? So this angle, instead of coming down like this, it comes and it goes at a different angle. Okay? Refraction is why whenever you look down into a lake, you look down into the lake and it looks like the fish is in one spot, but really the fish is in another spot, right? Okay, because if you reach down to try to grab a fish, do you ever get it? No, because it's not really where it looks, because the light coming out of the water was refracted. It got bent, so that it looks different than what it really is to you. Because you're looking down into water, and water refracts light. Okay, so what's a reflection?
Mirror image.
Mirror image. You look at your reflection in a mirror. What's refraction?
Bending of light.
The bending of light. Okay? Now, polarized, I doubt will be on the test, but in case it is, I just want to have this example. Okay? Polarized is a more complex definition, but the way you can think of it is like polarized sunglasses. Okay? If you go to the store and you want to buy new sunglasses, you can either get polarized or non-polarized. Polarized sunglasses block out more sun rays than non. So if we have two pairs of sunglasses, so sunglasses A and sunglasses B, okay, these are not polarized. Okay? B is not polarized. A is polarized. Okay? And what A looks like is on the lenses, it has tiny little lines that you cannot see whenever you're normally looking at it. So then when light tries to get into the polarized sunglasses, can as much light get into these glasses as gets into these? No, because of the lines. They don't allow, they're darker spots. It's like black spots on your sunglasses, black lines, and they don't allow as much light in. So polarized sunglasses are better for your eyes. Okay? Because they don't allow as much sun to hit your eyes. Okay? And then you can get more polarized than less polarized. More polarized would simply have more lines, so it would allow less lighting. Okay? If this is on the test, then hopefully that this example helps you. If it's not, then you're no worse off. And now when you go buy sunglasses, make sure you get polarized sunglasses. Okay? They typically be a little bit more expensive, but they're better on your eyes so you don't go blind when you're outdoors all the time. Or driving, whatever the case. Okay? So what's reflection?
Mirror image.
What is refraction?
Bending of
The
light.
bending of light. And polarized, just think polarized sunglasses. Okay? It doesn't let the light waves in as much. Make sense? Okay. Alright, the next part you guys